Hi everyone, it's Christy Funk from ChristyFunk.com, and today's topic is pretty serious. It's how I overcame sexual abuse and basically how I thrived from it. I want it to be a victory story, not a victim story. And so it's my personal journey. This is my story and my experience. I am not a licensed therapist, nor am I a counselor. So if you are someone that has been sexually molested or violated in any way, please seek a professional counselor. My deepest aspiration for sharing this story is that I inspire women, whether you're young or an older woman, of how we can not just overcome the victimization of the trauma, but how we can thrive from it. I want to inspire hope for any young woman that may have experienced that you are entitled and able still to have this abundant and vibrant and healthy life. So it is my deepest desire to reach as many women. So if you are a woman watching this, if you could please share this. This may help just one person, and that's really what I'm doing this for. I want to also give young women tools. There's very specific tools that can help them change the course of their actions, reactions, decisions, and choices from this point on. Had I known these things, I would have I would have had a different outcome, but I was given this gift, and yes, it is a gift. It's not a shiny, bright gift that we expect, but God gave me this. The universe said, Christy, we're going to give you this experience because somehow you're going to take that lemon and make it lemonade, and you're going to make it shine no matter how tragic and painful it was. So I weaved my way through a pretty marvelous life, but there's always been this undercurrent of sadness and just something unsettling that would come out in different ways until I was ready to battle this and face it head on. So my story started when I was about 4 in Minnesota, and I was sexually molested by a family friend. My family actually didn't know about this until last year. And he basically had me on his lap and slipped his finger through my panties and into my vagina. And that one incident would change the course of my life and relationship with men from men there on out. And I didn't realize that this had happened until I was probably in my 20s. And for the longest time, I would tell people, well, I was inappropriately fondled. No, I was sexually molested. My friend said, own it, Christy, you were molested. And so I also want to say that there are incidents that happen like that really quick, and incidents that happen where it's progression and it's really violent and the trauma's deeper. But whether it's one time, I don't want anybody out there has maybe had it one time, or it just seems like it was not a big deal. It's a big deal. Anytime you are molested, anytime you are violated, anytime you are put in a position of sexual violence, which is a big umbrella of a bunch of different things, it's a big deal. And so owning that and honoring that will help you have this life that is full of healthy love and vibrancy. So that happened when I was little. Then when I was probably, I think, about 7 or 8, I keep forgetting about this and I kind of push it in the back of my head. I was molested by a girl in the neighborhood. She's a little bit older. It was a slumber. I spent the night, and she molested me. I also didn't think of that as being something that could be deemed molestation. When I was in high school, I had a boyfriend who was really toxic, had a completely broken family. I was with him for several years, probably about 4 or 5 years. Lied and cheated on me all the time. He would offer me money if I'd lose weight. He was just had very unhealthy habits, and he raped me. And we were in his room. He covered my mouth. He threw me on the ground. He pinned me down. I was crying. I said no. I said no. I said no. And he still did it. A guy says no, and he still goes on with it. It's violence. It's rape. So I didn't know that. Nobody told me about that. And that's why I'm doing these types of videos, because if you're a young girl and your boyfriend or your date rapes you, you say no, it's rape. It needs to be it needs to be reported. So I never did anything, but I kept with all of this fear, shame, and guilt from those 3 incidents and from the abuse of the actual relationship for the rest of my life. And I went on to have toxic, unemotionally available, healthy relationships for the rest of my life. Now, granted, there have been some beautiful men in my life, and I've had some wonderful relationships and friendships in my life, but there was this pattern. And that's where I want to show you that you can break that pattern. You can break that addiction to that habit because it was wired in your brain. So that is what happened to me. And this is what happens to our bodies when we are molested before our first stable period. And had I known this information, it would have changed everything in my life for the choices and decisions I made there on out. There was a counselor here in Orange County, and I'll put the links down below. She deals with sexual addictions and family counseling and abuse. And so she told me that before a girl has her first stable period, if she's molested before her first stable period, chemically in the brain, it's rewired. So you're in fight or flight mode. That's why the anxiety and the fear and all of those things come out later in life. And you're in fight or flight mode. But what else happens is a bunch of dopamine is dumped into the brain. It's released into the brain, and it's a pleasure hormone. Think of that. So you are wired already to have this extreme amount of pleasure. And so when you're seeking love, you're having an intimate connection with a man, having sex, and you think you're in love. And he could be the biggest asshole, but you're in love because your brain is telling you that it's pleasure. So, I mean, this was huge for me. I realized that I was looking for love in all the wrong places based on what happened to me physiologically when I was a little girl. It was a game breaker for me. I mean, it was just huge. The second thing is that when you are abused, you're violated in any, sexual way, you actually operate from this pain point. So you energetically, you're attracting people that are also operating from their pain point, which is, you can have all these unhealthy men coming towards you because you're operating from there. Dr. Allen told me that predators can smell it. They can actually smell that abuse. And obviously, these people are also coming from their own trauma, probably even sexual trauma, and they're predators with other intentions in mind. So you attract unhealthy men that are coming at that, and then they can manipulate the whole relationship and situation. So if you're a woman that has been in one toxic relationship after another, and you have a history of child abuse or sexual abuse, take a look at that. And that's something that we can actually change. We can look at it and see that happened to us and how we can change from this point on out. So another thing that is really important that I really want you to ingrain in your head is that this happened to you, not because of you. It happened to you, not because of you. No woman on this planet wants to be abused. No woman on this planet wants to be sexually violated, sexually molested. No woman wants to be raped. No woman wants to be disrespected, dishonored, discredited, manipulated. No woman wants this. So this happened to you, not because of you. Once you can really grasp the power of that, you are able to look at it and view it as this was an experience, and I have full power to change it from here on out. So physiologically, we are going through very specific things that set the course for our life. We end up with a lot of anxiety. There's fear issues. Obviously, when you are molested and abused, every kind of safety net and idea of being safe and protected is gone. So you're in that fight or flight mode, and you're looking for safety, and sometimes in the arms of a man. And unless you're doing the work, it may be a man that is not healthy. And what in the work that I do with radical self-love is really finding a way to love ourselves. We are enough. We are enough to be with ourselves in full joy, and we are enough to be in a partnership, in a loving, healthy partnership with a man. So this is completely possible. There's other things you can have a history of body pains that the doctors can never find. I have a pain that goes from my right ovary down my right leg. I've always asked, can we take a look at Christy? There's nothing wrong with you. We have this thing that there's something wrong with our body, that it's been damaged because someone violated us. We can flip that. Feelings of depression, possible constipation problems, digestive issues. It's working all those chakras, the violation. And, the other thing that we can take a look at our life is how our pain has affected others. So until we really face it, until we really look at it, until we really uncover that trauma, we carry that pain in a way that affects everybody around us, because we are not our full capacity as a spirit on this planet. We are not operating from our feminine essence. We are unleashing that pain in unmeasurable ways around us, whether aggressively or passively aggressively. We can actually go into a life of addictions, whether it's for substance or sexual or love addictions. We are just putting a band-aid instead of getting to the putting a band-aid on the issue instead of really getting to the issue and taking that up and blowing it up. So it can affect how you are as a mother, how you are as a daughter, how you are as a lover in a relationship, how you are in your work. Because if we don't know that we're good enough and that we are worthy of great things, we can't attract great things. We can't accept them. We can't accept the gentleman. We can't accept the man that's really willing to cradle us and love us and protect us and nourish us. We are not able to accept even relationships with women that will provide safety. We cannot, all relationships, when we don't find ourselves worthy, are broken at best, and it's a hard struggle. In your career, maybe you're always about to make it, but then nothing happens. That's what's happened with me my entire life. It was like I was on the edge, and then I'd sabotage it. You sabotage every type of situation and experience and circumstance and relationship because of that feeling of inadequacy, that something's wrong with you, that you are broken, that you are harmed, you're riddled with this shame and this guilt and this fear that dictates your life. So how to overcome it, how I overcame it, in one word: forgiveness. And not just forgiveness on everybody that's violated me or raped me or discredited me or did unmentionable things to me. I had to forgive myself. And that was the last piece, is really understanding that I needed to forgive myself because I still was holding on to the guilt and the shame of it. And when that really truly happened, I was able to release that story. It no longer holds space in me. I don't want to give it power, because the power I want to give is in my power and strength as a woman, as a thriver of the situation. I am not a victim. I am a thriver of this. And it's my story to share with you. And I just hope that you get any piece of lighting up, any spark in you saying, okay, I understand. And, I've got many vlogs coming up on, self-image, healing, what toxic relationships look like, what to look out for, how to really go in and overcome this, because you really can. And I thought that I would be crying through this video. I thought that it would just trigger a whole bunch of things, but I'm okay with it. I've done my years of crying so that you can move through this gracefully. And just knowing your story and being very honest and taking a very honest look at that and how it's dictated your life, and understanding who you want to be from here on out, what kind of life you really want from here on out, and that just because this happened to you, not because of you, you have every possible way to not just overcome it, but do it in such a big way. And so I took the pain of this experience, and for me, it was really important to take that pain and make it this beautiful gift for the world to see, so that I could inspire just one woman, two women, five women, and then they inspire one woman, two, five, 10, and we've got hundreds and thousands of women that are looking at this from a completely different way. So I'm blessed. I really am. I couldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for what happened to me. And so I've learned to forgive those men, those people, and not only forgive them, but bless them on their journey. Because if they've hurt me in any unmentionable, awful way, it's because they were hurting. And as women, if we really understand our pain and have the courage to go in there and heal it and come out shining, guess what? We not only help ourselves, we help the planet. We help our children to be better men. We help our women, our girls to be strong and worthy and full of love. We help our relationships. And think of this, if we are operating from our true, healed, feminine essence, we can hold space for men. We can hold space for the men that are in pain. We can provide that soft spot because they don't have the language and they don't have the permission. They are not allowed to cry. Instead, a man who's a victim is a violent man, and that's a very dangerous thing. And this circle goes on and on and on, and I want to cut that. I want us to come back into our power as loving feminine creatures, these beings that can shed light. So if you can help a man who is addicted to porn, who's a sex addict, who's a violent, angry man, if you can show him and share the light that is in your spirit, you help millions on the planet. Think of the power of that. So I just want you to take this gift that God gave you and return it for the good for all, the highest good for you and for all those around you. And that's my deepest intention. So please subscribe to my Facebook. You can visit me on Facebook, but subscribe to my YouTube channel. I promise to deliver this. This is really my gift. This is not about a career change. This is not about how I'm maximizing my personal career goals. This is truly my gift because I see it. I see women coming into their beautiful, abundant, loving selves and taking that and really holding space for those who need it. And we heal. When we heal ourselves, we heal a million people around us. We already raise the frequency so much higher. So share this with anyone you know that's had any of these experiences, that is healing from it, or is that having a hard time. And even for those that are maybe the predators and the perpetrators of this, we've got to stop this violence against women. It's enough. We've got so many beautiful things to offer this planet. We've got to do it from the whole place. So love yourself. Take a look at this picture in your story and share the possibilities that come out of it. I really bless you on your journey and give you so much light and love. And I'm here to support you. Please respond here. You can email me. All the information's down there. And I'm just so thankful for you allowing me into your space for these 20 minutes. and listening to my story. May it heal you, may it shed light.